Greetings, you're welcome once again to the channel. Thanks for passing by again. So this is a promotion exam made easy for public servants and people seeking to get entry into public service. So this is the revised public service rules that took effect from 2023. This is the third episode on appointment. So in this video we shall be considering the third episode on appointment, which comprises of the posting, acting appointment, promotion, eligibility criteria for the post of permanent secretaries, and leaving the service. In the previous topics, the general definitions, we started the appointments. So in the first episode on the appointment, we looked at recruitment, the rules for appointments on probation. Then on the second episode on appointment, we looked at short-term appointments, then transfers and secondments. This is contained in the revised public service rule. So you are welcome to today's. As I said earlier, we shall be looking at posting, acting appointment, motion, eligibility criteria for the post of permanent secretary. The purpose of this work is to help you succeed in your promotion exam. That is our desire. The ultimate goal for you to be successful in your promotion exam, or you are looking for appointment into public service, which of course you write entry exam. This material is to guide you and help you succeed in that exam. Now, before we dive into today's affair, quickly look at your screen. Is there anywhere written subscribe? Do you still have subscribe on your page? As you are watching this video, look around. If you see anything written subscribe, which can appear with white background, subscribe with white background, or subscribe with black background, or in any background but written appearing. If it's still appearing on your window, please click on it on your see it on your window. Click on then by doing so, whenever we upload any material, instantly you'll be notified. You will get it. It's not costing you a dime. You're not paying anything. This work basically designed for charity purpose. So for you to pass your exam in an easy way. So the stress of stretching your eyes and reading, you can even lie down and be playing it and listening. So that is the essence of it. So going forward, looking at posting. Posting is initial assignment of an officer to position or job schedule in an MDA, or reassignment to another position or job schedule within or outside the school or department. Posting helps employees acquaint themselves with the activity offices, various offices they are posted to, and thereby gain wide experiences on the intricacies of government business. So that is the definition of posting. Then conditions for posting. The following rules will guide posters of officers. 1. All senior staff can be or redeployed to new posts in accordance with employee mobility policy. 2. Posting of officers to posts outside their professional cadre is prohibited. Posting of pool officers in the service shall be mandatory after every 4 years. Then 4. Failure of an officer to proceed shall be regarded as misconduct, and ministries or extra-ministerial agencies who reject pool officers deployed to them shall be made to face appropriate sanctions. Procedure for posting. In implementing postings, decision, fairness, to all officers shall be aligning principle in order to ensure that the system is not used as a tool for coercion or cronyism. Consideration shall be given to the following. So, consideration for posting. 1. Posting does not result in institutional memory in any department, division, or unit, nor impair its ability to continue to provide quality service to both internal and external stakeholders. And 2. Posting does not result in the loss of an employee involved in any service-wide project designated as during the lifespan of the project. Then guide to posting. To ensure every employee is given the opportunity to acquire as much of the whole service, work experience as possible, and to guide the posting of pool staff, posting shall be done in line with employee mobility policy. That is guide to posting. Duty of Director Human Resource on posting. The Director of Human Resource shall be expected to submit a report on compliance to instructions to the relevant pool office within 3 weeks of instruction. Then posting complaints. Officers may seek redress where he is of the opinion that his movement to another job or location has not been vision of extant rules. Any grievance or grievances with respect of posting instructions should be submitted through within 3 working days. The posting is released. Within 3 working days, you have to make your complaint. Then posting entitlements. The cost of entitlements due to the employee whose posting requires a change of duty station posting by the posting MDA. The posting MDA shall bear the cost of employee whose posting requires a change of duty station. Then provision for posting to spouse location. An officer who desires to live and work in the spouse list shall be allowed to do so, provided the branch of his MDA can be found in the spouse location and that there is relevant established post at the branch. Government shall not be responsible for cost of relocating an officer whose posting is at his request. So posting at request at all, paid for at all. And then responsibility union executives. Responsibility of union executives. The primary responsibility of all employees of the federal government is to discharge duties assigned by their employer to the Nigerian public in a timely and efficient manner. Therefore, notwithstanding involvement in staff, officers are obligated to comply with the provisions of extant circulars, PRS, that is Public Service Rule, etc., and obey all legitimate directives issued by appropriate authorities. So being a union does not make you to disobey rules. Now, posting of union executives. Labor union executives shall not be posted out of their MDAs until the expiration of their tenure in office. Then, redeployment of past union executives. No union executive member at the expiration of tenure in office shall decline redeployment, posting, or assignment of schedule of duties. So they can be posted at the expiration of their tenure as an executive. Then, tenure / duration of union executives. The tenure or duration of union executive. Trade unions, staff associations are mandated to introduce tenure limits of 2 terms in their constitution. So, tenure limit of 2 terms in their constitution. The duration for each tenure shall not be more than 2 years. So the duration for each tenure is not more than 2 years, and for a maximum of 2 tenures for union executives. So that is for posting. Now going further to appointment, acting appointment. Now on acting appointment, when made. So when can acting appointment be made? Where it is necessary that a particular duty post of status not lower than salary grade level 14, not lower than salary grade level 14, that is chief, should continue to be filled at a time when no officer of corresponding substantive rank is available for posting thereto. Another officer may, with the approval of the Federal Civil Service Commission or board, be formally appointed by notice in the Gazette to act in the duty post and assume either fully or in part the duties and responsibilities thereof. So if there is no somebody of the same substantive rank that has the vacancy, then that is where acting appointment comes in. So somebody can be appointed by Federal Civil Service and gazetted to act in that capacity by performing full responsibility or part of the responsibilities and duties. Then not made unless necessary. That is, acting appointment is not made unless necessary. So there are some situations that it may not be made, but there are some situations that require it to be made. So the mere fact that the substantive holder of a duty post will be absent therefrom for a short period, e.g. on casual leave or sick leave, does not in itself justify an acting appointment. There may, however, be circumstances such as compliance with statutory provisions which necessitate the making of an acting appointment for a relatively brief period. The decision whether an acting appointment is necessary or desirable in any particular case will rest with the Federal Civil Service Commission or board. Now, not a form of trial for promotion. Acting appointment is not a form of trial for promotion. So acting appointment is not intended as a means of testing the suitability of officers for promotion. They will normally be made only in order to fill posts that are temporarily vacant, and their duration should be limited accordingly. So there is a limit to acting appointment. Then procedure for appointing acting appointment. So recommendations for acting appointment which shall not exceed a period of 1 year must be forwarded to the Federal Civil Service Commission on General Form 66 and must include thereon a certificate to the effect that the acting officer will assume the full duties and responsibilities of the post in question. Approved acting appointments shall be gazetted by the Federal Civil Service Commission, but it will on no account be backdated to a period in excess of 6 months of the date of receipt of the recommendation by the Commission. So it cannot be backdated in excess of 6 months of the date the Commission receives the recommendation. B. The period of acting appointment shall not exceed 1 year, but in exceptional circumstances may be extended for another 1 year. So acting appointment is just for 1 year. Then in exceptional circumstances, it can be renewed for another 1 year, nothing more. So date of commencement. The date on which an acting appointment commences will be indicated in the Gazette notice authorizing the appointment. Normally, the Gazette date of commencement will be that on which the acting officer takes over the duties and responsibilities of the post, except that if he takes over from the substantive holder, the gazetted date of commencement will not be earlier than that on which the latter, after handing over leaves the station or the post. B. Takes over substantively or himself acts in another post in the same station. Or C. Commences vacation leave in the same station, whichever is applicable according to circumstance. So in a situation whereby the substantive holder hands over directly to the acting officer, so the gazetted date of appointment should not be earlier than that date which the substantive holder leaves the station or takes over substantive post in another place or acts in another place. So the gazetted date must not be earlier than that particular date or the date he commences vacation leave. So then date of cessation. The date on which an acting appointment ceases will be indicated in the gazette, just like the day it commences, in the gazette notice reverting the officer's appointment. Normally, the gazetted date of cessation will be that on which the acting officer relinquishes the duties and responsibilities of the post, except that if he hands over to the substantive holder. The gazetted date of cessation will not normally be later than the date on which the latter, before taking over, arrives the station or ceases to hold substantively or act in another post in the same station, and in a case whereby he ceases vacation leave in the same station, whichever is applicable. So know the difference between the cessation time and the commencement time. Commencement time must not be earlier than the date the substantive holder hands over, and for the cessation time it should not be later than the date the appointment is reverted, it takes back. So that is the gazetting date for both of them. One should not be earlier, which is the commencement, and then the cessation should not be later than the handing over. Then notification of Federal Civil Service Commission. Ministries shall be required to notify the Federal Civil Service Commission when officers revert from acting appointment by completion of form number Gen 15A, which shall be forwarded not less than 2 weeks before cessation of the acting appointment. So it shall be forwarded not less than 2 weeks before the cessation of the acting appointment. Then effect of casual or special leave. An acting officer will not be regarded as relinquishing the duties and responsibilities of his acting appointment by proceeding on casual or special leave within the country, provided he spends such leave in Nigeria or on a sea voyage between Nigerian ports, and provided it is not necessarily during any such leave to appoint another officer to act in the duty post in question. Then B, where the head of a department, division, unit, branch is not available for a period spanning 1 month as a result of annual leave or any other approved assignment, the most senior officer in the department or organization shall be mandated to oversee the office of the head of department. So where the head of department is not available, that he can stay for up to a month, so the most senior in that department will have to oversee the office of the head of department. So that is that on acting appointment. So forwarding to promotion. So promotion to all posts. A. Promotion to all posts in the Federal Civil Service other than those of permanent secretaries are vested in the Federal Civil Service Commission. So all promotions are vested in the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then permanent secretaries or heads of extraministerial offices are, however, authorized to promote eligible candidates to respect of which the powers of appointment have been delegated on salary grade level 6 or its equivalent and below, based on the recommendations of the appropriate committee. So for junior staff, grade level 6 below and its equivalent, the permanent secretaries and heads of extraministerial office have been authorized to do their promotion, to promote the eligible candidates. And the same grade, they are also given power to appoint. So then eligibility for promotion. Hours of appointment or promotion have been delegated. No promotion shall become effective until they have been approved by the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then B, all officers who fall within the field of selection for any promotion exercise shall be considered, except those who are under disciplinary action. Then C, the minimum number of years that an officer must spend in a post before being considered eligible for promotion shall be as, so according to the grades, the minimum number of years according to the grades now is so for grade level 06 and below, the minimum number of years they can spend to be eligible for promotion is 2 years. Then for grade levels 07 to 14, the minimum number of years they shall stay on one grade level before being eligible for promotion to another grade level is minimum of 3 years. Then for 15 to 17, the minimum number of years is 4 years before they can be considered for promotion to another level, 4 years. So grade level 6 and below, 2 years. Grade level 7 to 14, 3 years. And then grade level 15 to 17, 4 years. Then D, promotion shall be made strictly on the basis of competitive merit from amongst all eligible candidates. Then I, in assessing the merit of officers, a clear distinction shall be made between their records of performance or efficiency in lower grades and their potential for promotion, that is, ability and competence to perform the duties and responsibilities of the higher post efficiently. Then II, seniority and previous records of performance will be taken into account in choosing between candidates with equal potential for promotion. So between the candidates with equal potential for promotion, then they have to consider their seniority and previous records of performance. Then III, that is 3. In all cases, however, a generally satisfactory record of conduct shall also be considered. Generally satisfactory record of conduct shall as well be considered. Then E, the responsibility for promotion of officers into the following grades shall be, so the responsibility for promotion of officers into the different grades. So we see the body responsible for the different grades. Now for grade level 6 or its equivalent and below, so the body responsible is the ministry, department, and agencies. Grade level 6 and below and its equivalent is by the ministry, department, and agencies. Then for grade level 7 to salary grade level 14, so or its equivalent, so the responsibility lies on the ministry or extraministerial office or the relevant staff pool. With the approval of the head of the civil service of the federation, and then subject to confirmation by the Federal Civil Service Commission or board. So grade level 7 to 14 by the ministerial or extraministerial office or the relevant staff pool, but there must be approval from the head of the civil service of the federation, and confirmation must be given by the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then for grade level 15 to 17, so the responsibility lies on the Federal Civil Service Commission on recommendation from ministry or extraministerial office or the relevant pool, but routed through the office of the head of the civil service of the federation. So please note the differences. So for grade levels 15 to 17, so it has to be routed through the office of the head of civil service of the federation by the ministry, and then to Federal Civil Service Commission. So the responsibility lies on the Federal Civil Service Commission, but recommendation from the ministries or extraministerial offices, which shall be routed through the office of the head of civil service. While for 7 to 14 is the relevant ministry or extraministerial office or the relevant pool, with the approval of head of civil service of the federation and confirmation by the Federal Civil Service Commission. While grade level 6 and below or its equivalent is judged by the ministry, department, and agency. Then all promotion is subject to satisfying minimum requirements declared by Federal Civil Service Commission. So all promotion is subject to satisfying the minimum requirements declared by the Federal Civil Service Commission or board in the case of parastatals and availability of what? Vacancy. So subject to minimum requirements declared by Federal Civil Service Commission or board in the case of parastatals and also availability of vacancies. Then G, all heads of the MDAs shall submit their approved establishment for the year to the office of the head of the civil service of the federation before enlisting the officers for promotion examination to ensure that promotion falls in line with existing vacancies. Now, procedure. Before each promotion exercise, the appropriate office shall compile a list of all eligible candidates to be considered. The list shall be prepared on the basis of the job requirements or set of criteria established for the post by the office of the head of civil service of the federation, e.g., the qualification, experience, age, training, performance, and so on, as contained in the schemes of service. Then furthermore, there shall be structured and sustained training for career progression in the service, including continuous professional development and training. Then B, officers shall qualify for promotion to higher grade after acquiring the skill and competence as provided in the schemes of service for the particular cadre. Then promotion from junior post to senior post. The appropriate committee shall meet to interview and consider officers holding junior appointments in the ministry or extraministerial office, who may be recommended to the Federal Civil Service Commission, which shall examine the suitability of officers so recommended and offer them promotion to existing vacancies. So when officers are going from junior level to senior level, from junior post to senior post, that is maybe from GL6 to GL7. So the appropriate committee meet and conduct the interview, then forward the recommendation to the Federal Civil Service Commission, and Federal Civil Service Commission in turn will examine the suitability of officers they recommended and then offer them promotion to existing vacancies. Now, from one junior post to another, promotion from one junior post to another. So the permanent secretaries and heads of extraministerial offices shall fill vacancies on posts on grade level 6 and below on the recommendation of the junior staff committee. So promotion within junior posts is done by permanent secretary or head of extraministerial offices with a recommendation from the junior staff committee. Then effective date. The effective date of all promotions shall be 1st January of the year for which the promotion exercise was conducted, or as may be determined by the Federal Civil Service Commission. So if promotion exercise is conducted any time in 2025, even if result comes in 2027, so the effective date must be January 2025. That is the year it was conducted. Then officers on leave of absence, secondment, etc. to sit for promotion exam. Now, officers on approved leave of absence, secondment, approved study leave, special assignment shall sit for promotion interviews or examinations at designated centers nearest to them. So they sit for the exam at the centers nearest to them. Then compulsory confirmation exam. Newly recruited officers who have spent 6 months and above shall be allowed to sit for compulsory examination for confirmation in the service pending completion of probationary period of 2 years in the service. So new officers that have spent up to 6 months are allowed to write the confirmation exam, so while they are still on probation. Then promotion of a contract officer. Promotion of a contract officer. No contract officer shall be considered for promotion. He could, however, be considered for an enhanced appointment during the renegotiation of his contract. So, of course, whatever that is contained on contract agreement is what they abide by. So, the benefits as contained on the agreement during negotiation is what holds. So, for him to have enhanced appointment would be when they are sitting down to do another renegotiation. So that is when the appointment can be enhanced. Then promotion of junior and senior officers. Promotion of both junior and senior officers in federal government parastatals and agencies shall be deemed invalid without the representatives of the Human Resource Management of the supervising ministries and Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation. So for parastatals and agencies, so the promotion of officers shall only be valid when there is a presence of human resource management and from the supervising ministry, when there is a representative of human resource management of this, and as well as from the Office of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, as whatever they are doing is invalid in parastatals and agencies. Then, so that is that for promotion. Then for eligibility criteria for the post of permanent secretary. So looking at the criteria to be eligible to participate in the post of permanent secretary. So these are the conditions. So to be eligible to participate in the appointment process of permanent secretaries in the Federal Civil Service, the candidates must so these are the conditions. Note, be a director on grade level 17 and in the mainstream of the Federal Civil Service. So he must be a director in the mainstream, director level, grade level 17. Then B, he must have also been verified on the IPPI's portal or platform as having been confirmed as a staff of the federal government of Nigeria. Must have been verified on the IPPIS portal and confirmed as a staff of the federal government of Nigeria. Then 3, he must be at least 2 years on the post of director. He must have served as a director for at least period of 2 years. Then D, he must not be retiring on or before the 31st of December of the following year. That means if appointment to permanent secretary is being held on this year 2025, then the people that will be eligible are those who will not retire on or before 2026 31st December. So if it's being conducted this year 2025, the person must not retire on or before 31st of December 2026. Then E, provide proof of indigenship of the state where vacancy must exist. So the person must be indigent of where the vacancy exists. Then F, indigenship of a state must not be by marriage in case of a female civil servant. So for a female civil servant, it must not be by marriage. It should be your state of origin by birth and not by marriage. Then G, not have a pending disciplinary action against him. So the person must not be having a disciplinary action. Now, selection process. So for the selection process, selection shall be through competitive examination process, including but not limited to written examination, test of ICT proficiency, and oral interview. So including but not limited to oral interview, test of ICT proficiency, and written exam. The resource persons that will be used for that exercise. So resource persons from the civil or public service and private institutions may be involved in the selection process. So from civil, public service, and private institution may be involved in the process as resource persons. Then that is that for permanent secretary selection. Then for leaving the service, so coming down to leaving the service, various ways of leaving the service. So we have one at termination of appointment during probation period. So if within his probationary period it is established to the satisfaction of the authority empowered to appoint an officer that he is not qualified for efficient service, his appointment may be terminated by that authority at any time without any further compensation than free transport to the place from which he was engaged, and such free transport will be has been good. So if somebody during probation is found that he's not efficient for the service, so his appointment can be terminated and compensated with a free transport to the place where he was engaged from. But that is on the condition that his conduct has been good, and provided the termination is not due to misconduct on the officer's part. So provided that the termination is not due to misconduct on the officer's part before he can get that compensation for transport. So it will be effected by means of a month's notice. So the officer can be given a month's notice and subject to the same provision. Then if the officer is eligible for vacation leave in rest to date, such leave may be granted together with, if the officer so desire, normal vacation leave, transport grant in lieu of the free transport mentioned. Then such leave, if any, shall be so arranged as to take place within the period of notice, and, if possible, to expire on the same day as the position regarding the refund of the cost of any training given the officer is governed by the bond relating to such training. So if it's to refund any, so it depends on the bond relating to the particular training. That is the case whereby the government is terminating the appointment of an officer on probation. Then the officer can also, while on probation, decide to relinquish his appointment. Now, this is what happens in the officer relinquishing his appointment. If an officer relinquishes his appointment within the period of his probationary service, he may be required to refund any expenditure by government in transporting his family, servant, and baggage to and fro the place at which he was employed, and he will not be eligible for any facilities from government towards transport from the station at which he was serving. The position regarding the refund of the cost of any training given the officer is governed by the bond relating to such training. So if an officer on his own relinquishes, he is not entitled to any transport, and he will make refund where necessary. The refund of the transport used to transport him, the family, and baggage. Then for the cost of training, depends on the bond relating to such training. Now, termination. That is termination of appointment. The appointment of an officer on probation who fails to secure confirmation in the pensionable establishment at the expiration of his probationary period including such extension thereof as prescribed under the rule, civil service rule, may be terminated in the manner specified in the civil service rule. So an officer who fails to secure pensionable appointment during probation, so his appointment may be terminated according to existing rule. Then resignation. So an officer who resigns will be liable to, one, forfeit all claims to vacation leave and any vacation leave or passage privileges granted will be ex gratia. Then two, refund to the government in full any sum of money which he may be owing to the government or which under the provisions of other rules or agreements entered into with government is refundable to government for not discharging the obligations set out in such agreement, provided that any or all of such refunds may be waived at the discretion of the government. Then leaving the service during a leave year. An officer who leaves the service other than by resignation or dismissal. Shall be eligible for proportionate leave in accordance with the existing rule. So proportionate leave means fractional leave, a fraction of the annual leave. If he has enjoyed more leave during the leave year than he is eligible to receive under that rule, he will be required to refund salary at the rate at which it was paid for the number of working days leave enjoyed in excess of what he was eligible to receive. The days in respect of which salary is refunded being treated as leave without pay for pension purposes. This provision will be waived if in the case of an officer who dies in the service. So if one leaves during service year, so and if he has enjoyed what is more leave than what he's supposed to enjoy, he has to refund the excess, because so the leave will be treated as leave without pay. Because what is entitled to is proportionate leave, a fraction of the leave. But if he has enjoyed more than, depending on how long he has spent, and if he has enjoyed more than that, so he has to pay back the excess he has enjoyed. Then leaving the service on grounds of failing an examination. 1. Officers who fail promotion examinations after 3 consecutive attempts or who from themselves from an examination on grounds considered not acceptable shall be deemed to have exited from the service after the failed 3rd attempt or when he refused to write the examination the 3rd time. To be acceptable, absence on the ground of ill health shall be supported by a medical report from recognized health care provider. Other reasons shall be based on the evaluation of the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then 2. Officers that scored below the pass mark in a promotion examination shall be notified or by messages sent to their given email address. So those that fail the promotion exam, they will have to be notified that by mail or in writing. And then the authority that will notify them is the authority that conducted the exam. So the notification shall be given by the authority that conducted the exam for those who got below pass mark. Then leaving the service on grounds of failing an examination. Officer, okay, we've taken that already. So we'll move to the next one. Leaving the service on grounds of abolition of office or reorganization. An officer whose service is no longer required in the event of abolition of office, reorganization of the office, or redundancy shall be required to leave the service. So abolition, reorganization, or redundancy. The officer shall be required to leave the service. Then mandatory requirement. The mandatory requirement age for all grades in the service shall be 60 years or 35 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. This is mandatory. Then 2, no officer shall be allowed to remain in service after attaining the retirement age of 60 years or 35 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. Then 3, the provision of the first two, the 1 and 2 above, is without prejudice to prevailing conditions of service for judicial officers, academic staff of universities, and other officers whose retirement age is at variance. So there are some other officers that their retirement age is at variance, which include the judiciary officer, then the academic staff of the university, and some other persons. So that their retirement age is at variance. But apart from that, aside from them, the mandatory retirement age for every other officer is 60 years of age or 35 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. Then tenure policy, another way of leaving the service too. Now, a director or its equivalent by whatever nomenclature it is described in MDAs shall compulsorily retire upon serving 8 years on the post. So a director is supposed to retire compulsory after serving for 8 years. A permanent secretary shall hold office for a term of 4 years. This is now for permanent secretaries. So they shall hold office for a term of 4 years and renewable for a further term of 4 years, subject to satisfactory performance and no more. So permanent is 4 years and renewable for 4 years for subject to satisfactory performance. So after renew for further 4 years, that is all. That is for tenure policy. So that is for thank you. So thank you. Next, we now go to the quiz aspect. But please, before we now go to the quiz aspect, still check your screen as you are watching the video. Is there a word like subscribe? Is the word subscribe still written on your page? Check everywhere, especially below the screen where you are seeing the video. Can you find subscribe anywhere? If you can find subscribe anywhere, hit the button. Hit the subscribe button so that it disappears. That is only way you can be getting our materials once it is uploaded in real time. So we upload materials every week. So once it's uploaded, if you have subscribed, YouTube will be able to send you that material in real time. It's for your own good. So quiz time. Question 1. The initial as officer to position or job schedule in an MDA or reassignment to another position or job schedule within or outside his current MDA department is called. So what is it called? Is it a transfer, B, a secondment, C, is it called posting, D, appointment? Please note your answer. There is a comment section. Just drop your answer at the comment section. Drop the letter. Is it letter A, B, C, or D? Drop at the comment section. So before we get to see the correct answer. Question 2. Which of these is not a guiding rule in posting of public officers? Which is not a guiding rule among these? So A, posting of officers to post outside their professional cadres is encouraged for personal development. Is this a correct guiding rule? B, all senior staff can be posted and or redeployed to new posts in accordance with the approved employee mobility policy. Is it part of the guiding rule? Then C, posting of pool officers in the service shall be mandatory after 4. Is that part of the guiding rule? Then D, failure of an officer to proceed to posting shall be regarded as misconduct. So quickly your answer for 1 and 2 before we see the correct answer. Drop them at the comment section. Then E on number 2, ministries or extraministerial departments or agencies who reject pool officers deployed to them shall be made to face appropriate of this. So which of these is not a guiding rule in posting of public service? So looking at the answers now. So the answer for question 1 is C, that is posting. So the initial assignment of an officer to position or job scheduled in an MDA or reassignment, with whether within or outside, is called posting. Then while question 2 is A, so which of this is not a guiding rule? Posting of an officer to post outside their professional cadre of course is prohibited. It's prohibited. It's not encouraged for personal development at all. No. So it's prohibited. So the correct answer is A. It's not the guiding rule. Question 3. In posting of officers, all except one shall be taken into consideration. So what to consider? A. In implementing postings, decision fairness to all officers shall be an underlying principle in order to ensure that the system is not used as a tool for coercion, punishment of cronyism. So which of them shall not be taken into consideration during posting? B. Posting does not result in the loss of instructional memory in any department, division or unit, nor impair its ability to continue to improve quality service to both internal and external stakeholders. So then C. Posting does not result in the loss of an employee involved in any service-wide project designated as high priority during the lifespan of the project. So which of these should not be taken into consideration? And then D. Posting to be a punitive measure to correct officers that pose threat to the service. So which is the correct answer among them? So posting, so except one, shall not be taken into consideration. So quickly drop your answer, your letter. So the correct letter is letter D, question 3. So posting to be a punitive measure to correct officers that pose threat, which is actually wrong. It's not a punitive measure. Question 4. One of these can be a measure to make employees acquaint themselves with the activities of various offices they are sent to, thereby gain wide experience on the intricacies of government business. So one of these. So which is it? Transfer? Is it secondment? Is it posting? Or is it change of cadre? So which one helps them to acquit themselves with activities of government in various offices? Then question 5. A grieved officer on posting instructions can seek for redress through the appropriate channel within how many days the posting is released? So within how many days? Is it within 5 working days? Or within 4 working days? Or within 3 working days? Or within 2 working days? Please put down the correct letters at the current comment section. Then question 6. Whose duty is it to submit a report on compliance to posting instructions to the relevant pool office, and within what duration from the release of the instruction? So who submits it? What time is the period he is required to submit it? Then is it the director planning and research within 3 weeks, or the permanent secretary or head of extraministerial office within 3 weeks, or the director of human resource management within 3 weeks, or the director of human resource management within 2 weeks? Which of them is correct? Now note your answers 4 to 6. So quickly see. The correct answer for number 4 is C, posting. Enable officer to get wide knowledge of various offices, of wide experience on the intricacies of government business. Then question 5, the correct answer is also C. So the is within 3 working days. A grieved officer must lay his complaint. Within 3 working days, the posting is released. Then for question 6, the correct answer for question 6 is also C, the Director of Human Resource Management, within 3 weeks. Then question 7, officer whose posting requires a change of duty station is entitled to some allowances. Who is responsible for the payment of these allowances? So, officer whose posting requires a change of duty station is entitled to some allowances. Who is responsible for payment of these allowances? So, is it the posting MDA, or is it the receiving MDA, or is it the receiving station, or is it the officer himself? So, put down your correct answer. Then question 8, an employee who requested to be posted to a branch of relevant established post of his MDA in order to join the spouse shall be allowed to do so, and the cost of relocation shall be borne by who? By the posting MDA, by the employee, by the receiving MDA, the receiving station. Then question 9, in the constitution of unions or associations of the public service, the executive post shall be limited to how many tenures, and the duration of each tenure shall not be more than how many years? So note the number of tenures and years for each tenure. So A is 2 tenures 3 years, B 3 tenures 2 years, C 3 tenures 3 years, and D 2 tenures 2 years, which is the correct answer. Quickly, then question 10, executives of unions within the MDAs are not under obligation to the extant rules in the public service rules. True or false? The executives of unions within the MDAs are not under obligation because they are union executive. So they are not under obligation to external rules. Is it true or false in the civil service? So quickly your answers, let's check. So for question 7, the correct answer is A, the posting MDA is responsible for the payment of allowance for posting officer whose duty post requires a change of station. Then for question B, when an officer requests for posting by his choice, the officer bears the cost. The government do not bear the cost of the location. Then for question 9, the correct answer is 2 tenures for 2 years. So 2 years and 2 tenures. That is option D. And for question 10, the executives of unions within the MD are not under obligation to pay every rule. So the answer is false. Then question 11, which of these is correct in posting of labor union executives? So the labor union executives, so they can be posted out of their MDAs during their tenure in office. Is it true? Then B, they cannot be posted out of their MDAs after the expiration of their tenure in office. So C, they can only be posted if they are promoted during their tenure in office. And D, they cannot be posted out of their MDAs until the expiration of the tenure in office. So which of that is correct in posting of the union executives? Then question 12, which of these statements is not correct about acting appointment? Which of these statements is not correct about acting appointment? So we have A, when there is no available officer of corresponding substantive rank for posting to fill a necessary duty post, an acting appointment can be made. Is it true? Then B, acting appointment can be made on a salary grade level 13 and below, or salary grade level 13 and above. So at what level acting appointment made? So acting appointment can only be approved by the Federal Civil Service Commission or Board. Is it? Then D, acting appointment is formally appointed by notice in the Gazette to act in the duty post and assumed either fully or part the duties and responsibilities. So quickly your answers 11 and so for question 11, the answer quickly is they cannot be posted out of their MDAs until the expiration of the union executive. Then question B 12 is correct option is B. The appointment cannot be made on a salary. No, the acting appointment can be made on a salary grade level 13 and above. No, it's from grade level 14. Acting appointment can be made from 13 and 14 and not 13. 14, no, not 13. So question 13, the decision whether an acting appointment is necessary or desirable in any particular case will rest with the decision whether an acting appointment is necessary or desirable in any case will rest with the beneficial MDA, with office of the head of the civil service of the federation, with the Federal Civil Service Commission or board, or with the accountant general of the federation. So whose decision to decide whether acting appointment is necessary or not? Then question 14, acting appointment can be used to evaluate the suitability of officers for promotion. Is it true or false? Then question 15, circumstances such as compliance with statutory provision can necessitate the making of an acting appointment for a relatively brief period. Is it true or false? Then question 16, the fact that the substantive holder of a duty post will be absent for a short period, like on casual leave or sick leave, it's enough justification for an acting appointment. Is it true or false? So this should be is enough, not it. It's enough justification for acting appointment. So question 13, decision whether an acting appointment is necessary or desirable. Of course, that decision is taken by the Federal Civil Service Commission. Okay, let's look at the answers. That is C. Good. 13 is C. Federal Civil Service Commission. Then 14, acting appointment can be used to evaluate. No, that is false. It's not for determining whether the person is suitable for promotion or not. Then question 16, circumstances such as compliance with statutory provision can necessitate the making of an acting. Yes, that is true. Number 15, yes. Then 16, the fact that the substantive holder of a duty post will be absent for a short period, like on casual leave or sick leave, is enough justification for an acting appointment. No, that is false, not true. That is false. That option is false, not true. It's not enough to justify, except if it's necessary, if the appointment is necessary. Then for question 17, acting appointment shall be for a maximum period of dash, and in an exceptional circumstances it may be extended to another dash acting appointment. So the duration: A, 1.5 years extended for 1 year. B, 2 years extended for 1 year. Then C, 1 year and extended for another 1 year. Then D, 1 year then extended for half a year. So 18, recommendation for acting appointment shall be forwarded on general form 66 to, so where do they forward the recommendation? A, the permanent secretary or head of extraministerial office. B, the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then C, the head of the supervising ministry. And D, the head of service of the federation. So where is the recommendation for acting forwarded to? Then that number 19 now, the approved acting appointment shall be gazetted by the Federal Civil Service Commission and cannot be backdated to a period in excess of how long? So is it in excess of 6 months of the date the officer assumes the acting position, or in excess of 6 months of the date of the gazetting, or in excess of 12 months of the date the officer assumes the acting position, or in essence of 6 months of the date of receipt of the recommendation by the commission, so which is appropriate. Quickly notify your answers. Let's see the result. So for question A is 1 year and then extended to another 1 year, that is option C. Then for question 18, recommendation for acting appointment is forwarded to the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then for question 19, the correct answer is 6 months of the date of receipt of the recommendation by the commission. D, it's within 6 months. It should not be backdated in excess of 6 months from the date of receipt of the recommendation by the commission. Then question 20, the forwarding of the recommendation for acting appointment must be accompanied with a certificate of assumption on duty, B, a certificate to the effect that the acting officer is suitable for the acting post, B, certificate to the effect that the acting officer will assume the full duties and responsibilities of the post in question, and D, record of service of the proposed acting officer. So with what can it be forwarded with the recommendation? Then question 21, the date of the commencement and cessation of the acting appointment shall be, the date of commencement and cessation of the acting appointment shall be A, the date the acting officer arrives, and so that is coming. So the date the acting officer arrives as the date of commencement, then arrives the station. Sorry, that should be error. So the date the acting officer arrives the station, not at the station. Then B, the date that the acting officer takes or hands over the post of acting appointment. Then C, date indicated in the Gazette notice authorizing or reverting the appointment. Then D, the date substantive officer leaves the office. So note the question that the date of the commencement and then the cessation of the acting appointment shall be. So then question 22. Mrs. Grace took over acting appointment from Mr. Peter, who handed over and left the station on the 25th of February 2025. Therefore, the Gazette date of the commencement of acting appointment of Mrs. Grace can be any of the following dates. Can be any of the following dates. So, get it correct. Mrs. Grace took over. Mrs. Grace took over acting appointment, so she's the one doing the acting appointment now from Mr. Peter. So Mr. Peter is the substantive holder. So Mrs. Grace is acting now. So who handed over and left the station? So she took over directly from Mr. Peter, and Mr. Peter left the station on 25th of February. So therefore, the Gazette date of the commencement of acting appointment of Mrs. Grace can be any of the following dates. So quickly your options. So starting from question 20. So okay, the options here too. So option for 22. So A is 27th February. Can it be 27th February? Can it be 20th February? Can it be 24th February? Or can it be 31st February? Noting the date she took over, the date Mr. Peter left. So, and you are talking of what? Commencement. It should be earlier or later. Now, so the options, correct answer. So for answer to question 20, the correct answer is the certificate to the effect that the acting officer will assume the full duties and responsibilities of the post. That is option C. So that will be forwarded with the recommendation to Federal Civil Service Commission. While for question 21 to the date indicated in the Gazette notice, which authorizes or reverts the appointment. So that is the date of the commencement and cessation. So normally it's in the Gazette. So to authorize the commencement and then to revert the appointment, option C. Then for question 22, So if Mr. Peter left 25th, then the gazetted date can never be earlier than the date. It can never be earlier than the date if Mr. Peter handed over to Grace. So it means it may have been handed over to Grace before the approver. Grace gets the gazette. So the gazette date can never be earlier. The commencement date can never be earlier than the date that Mr. Peter leaves the place and hands over. So the correct option, so if you look at all the dates, the only one that is that is not earlier than 25th is A, that is 27. Other ones are earlier. So question 23. On the 21st of December, this is another similar question. On 21st of December 2024, Mr. Tunde handed over his current substantive post to Mr. Ahmed on acting appointment and takes over acting in another post in the same station. Therefore, Mr. Ahmed gazette date of commencing can be any of these except on the 21st of December 2024, Tunde handed over his current substantive post to Mr. Ahmed on acting appointment and takes over another appointment in the post. So he handed over on 21st. So therefore, Mr. Ahmed's gazetted date of commencement can be any of these except it can be 20th December, it can be 3rd January, it can be 28th December 2024, it can be 23rd December 2024. So then this is another one, 24. Mr. Musa wants to proceed on vacation leave. So Mrs. Musa wants to proceed on vacation leave and so hands over her duties and responsibilities to Mr. Faith in an acting position on the 4th of notice of approval authorizing Dr. Faith's post in acting capacity is expected to be. So there are 3 of them are similar questions. So, A, 13th March, B, 3rd March, C, 12th March 2025, and D, 14th March 2025. Then C, 25. Mrs. Grace hands over her acting appointment to the substantive holder. So she's relinquishing, giving back to the substantive holder, Mr. Peter, who arrived station on the 25th of March. Therefore, the gazette date of cessation of the acting appointment by Mrs. Grace can be any of the following. So note the difference between commencement and cessation. In commencement, the date the substantive holder leaves. So the date of the gazette can never be earlier than the date the substantive holder leaves. While for in cessation, that means the acting officer hands over back to the substantive holder. So the gazette date can never be later than that date. So A, 27th March, then 2025, then 26th March, then 24th March 2025, and D, 31st March 2025. So quickly, the correct answers for 23 says A. So 20th December. Of course, on the 21st of December, Mr. Tunde handed over his current to Mr. Ahmed on acting appointment and takes over another. So the gazetted day be earlier. The gazetted day can never be earlier than that. So yeah. there's an error here. The gazetted date can never be earlier than the date Mr. Tunde leaves the station. Then 24th, D. Mrs. Musa wants to proceed on vacation leave and so hands over her duties and responsibility to Faith in accordance on the 14th of March. So the Gazette notice of approval authorizing Dr. Faith's post on acting capacity is expected to be, so yes, it can be the same date. So since 14 is here, 14 here, so that can be the same. So it's the same date he took over acting appointment. That is D. Then for 25th, now Mrs. Grace hands over her acting appointment, so she's handing back over to the substantive holder who arrives on the 25th. So the substantive holder arrives on 25th. That means Mrs. Grace is ceasing. So of course the date cannot now be later than the date the substantive holder arrives, but it can at worst it will be the same date. So therefore the Gazette date of cessation of the acting appointment by Mrs. Grace is, so it can never be later than this. So looking at all the dates, they are all later. Then we have a 20. We have a maybe 25th. Yes. So the best date is C, because it can never be later. It can never be later than the day he arrives. So it can be, so the correct date is 24th. Then on the 1st of July 2024, Mr. Tunde, how comes several questions on this? Okay. On the 1st of July 2024, Mr. Tunde ceases to act in another post but reverts and took over his substantive post from Mr. Ahmed, who was acting in the same station. Therefore, Mr. Ahmed's Gazette date of cessation can be any of these. So the date of cessation can never be later than the date Mr. Tunde arrives. So you see, so it can never be later. So it can be this same date or earlier, but it can never be later than that. So option A, 4th July, then 30th June 2024, then 3rd July 2024, then 2nd July 2024. Then question 27. Mrs. Musa returns from vacation leave and takes over her substantive duties and responsibilities from Dr. Faith. It's like that page is repeated. Who was in acting position on the 20th of May 2025, the cessation of Dr. Faith's post in active capacity is expected to be. It's like it's a repetition. 20th May 2025, B 23rd May 2025, C 22nd May 2025, D 21st May 2025. Then 28, completed Form Gen 15A for notifying the Federal Civil Service Commission by the ministries when officers revert from acting appointment shall be forwarded when. So within what period is it to be forwarded? So not less than 1 week before cessation of the acting appointment, not less than 1 week after cessation of the acting appointment, not less than 2 weeks before cessation of the appointment, or weeks before cessation of the appointment. So quickly, the correct answer for 26. So Mr. Tunde ceases to act on the 1st. So if he ceases on the 1st, so the correct date, sorry, the thing went back. What? Sorry. How comes? Sorry. Yeah, okay, this is where we are. So on the 1st July 2024. So now, looking at the dates we have, so the best option is 30th June because he is returning back. So it can never be later than the date he returns back. And every other dates are later than 1st of July. So it's only 30th June that is not later than 1st of July because he's ceasing to is to act, so reverting to act. So when you are the acting appointment is ceasing, it can never be later than the date the substantive owner returns. Then for option 27, for question 27, so on the 20th, so that Dr. Faye, who was in acting position on the 20th of May 2025, so the Gazette date notice of the cessation of Dr. Faith. So looking at the dates, so it can be the exact date, which is same 20th of May. So it can be this exact date. So it's same 20th of May. That is correct. Then for 28, the correct option is not less than 2 weeks before cessation of the acting appointment. So the completed form shall be for notifying the Federal Civil Service Commission shall be by the ministry when officers revert from acting appointment shall be forwarded within 2 weeks, not less than 2 weeks before cessation of the appointment. Then 29, acting officer who proceeded on casual or special leave within Nigeria or a sea voyage between Nigeria ports will not be regarded as relinquishing the duties and responsibilities of his acting appointment. Is it true? Be regarded as relinquishing the duties and responsibilities of his acting appointment. C, not be regarded as not suitable to perform the duties and responsibilities of his acting appointment. Then D, not be regarded as neglecting the duties and responsibilities of his acting appointment. So when an acting appointment just proceed on maybe few days leave, like casual leave or special leave, is it regarded that he has relinquished his appointment? So then 30, categories of officers who fall within the field of selection for promotion exercise but cannot be considered are those who categories of officers who fall within the field of selection for promotion exercise but cannot be considered are those who A, are yet to return from in-service training, are under disciplinary action, C, are on foreign mission, and D, number of years. So quickly, the correct options for question 29, they are not. So when they go on casual leave, even within Nigerian voyage, or on a voyage between Nigeria, so it's not regarded that they are relinquishing their responsibility. So the correct option is A for 29, not be regarded as relinquishing the duties and responsibilities of his acting appointment. Yes. Then for question 30, categories of officers who fall within the field of selection but cannot be considered are those under disciplinary action. Question 31, where the head of department or division or unit is not available for a period spanning 1 month as a result of annual leave or any other approved assignment. So what happens if such exists? A, the head of department can use his discretion to mandate any member of staff to oversee the office. B, the most senior officer in the department or organization shall be mandated to oversee the office of the head of department. D, the most loyal officer in the department or organization shall be mandated to oversee the office of the head of department. And D, a senior officer in another department or organization shall be mandated to oversee the office of the head of department. So what happens when the head of department is away for up to 1 month? So the correct answer is that the most senior officer in the department or organization shall be mandated to oversee the office of the head of the department. 32, the authority for promotion to all posts The authority for promotion to all posts in the Federal Civil Service, other than those of permanent secretaries, are vested in the. So who was the authority for promotion of all officers other than that of permanent secretary? Is it the permanent secretary or heads of the extraministerial offices? Is it the office of the head of civil service of the federation? Is it the office of the human resource management or the office of Federal Civil Service Commission? Question 33. The authority to promote eligible candidates to posts in respect of which the powers of appointment have been delegated on salary grade level 6 or its equivalent and below, based on the recommendations of the appropriate committee, has been delegated to. Yes, so that authority has been delegated to those. Who are those? A, the head of human resource management of the MDAs. B, the permanent secretary or heads of extraministerial offices. C, the office of the head of the civil service of the federation. And D, the secretary to the government of the federation. So for salary grade level 6 and below, so authority to promote, so it's same people that appoint them that will promote them, that owns the same authority. So quickly the options. On 32, the correct option is the Federal Civil Service Commission. All authorities for promotion is vested on Federal Civil Service Commission, though they delegated some. Then why for B is delegated to the permanent secretary and heads of extraministerial offices. So they are the ones that are given the power or the authority to appoint junior officers on junior posts level 6 and below. Then 34, give the minimum number of years required to be spent in a post by each of the categories of officers listed below before being considered eligible for promotion. Number of years they have to spend. So for levels 06 and below, so then level 15 to 17 and level 7 to 14. So the minimum number of years in order they are written: 6 and below, 15 to 17 and 7 to 14. So that order, let's have the number of years. So A will have 4 years, 2 years and 3 years. So meaning that the first one is 4 years, that is 6 to and below is 4 years. Then 15 and 7 is just in that order. So B, 3 years, 2 years and 4 years. Then C, 2 years, 3 years and 4 years. Then D, 2 years, 4 years and 3 years. So the correct order of the minimum years. So for 35, in assessing the merit of officers for promotion, consideration shall be given to all of these except A, clear distinction shall be made between their records of performance or efficiency in lower grade and their potentials for promotion. So things to consider in assessing their promotion. Then ability and competence to perform the duties and responsibilities of the higher post efficiently. Then C, general satisfactory record of conduct shall be considered. And D, the social background and influential ability of the eligible officers. So what can be given into consideration in assessing the merit of the officers for promotion? So E, seniority and previous records of performance will be taken into account in choosing between candidates with equal potential. So quickly the options, what are your own options? So quickly looking at them. So for question 13, we have the order. For question 34, the order is 6 and below. Of course, normally 6 is, and below is 2 years. Then 15 to 17 is 4 years. Then 7 to 14 is 3 years. That means 2, 4 and 3. So that is option D. Then for question 35 is the social background and influential ability of the eligible officers. This is not put into consideration in considering candidates for promotion at all, but every other aspect is applicable. Then for question, so with the letters A to D, align each grade level below with the body responsible for the promotion of officers. So for each grade level, you have to align the body responsible for their promotion. So 36, you have grade level 15 to 17. Then from 37, you have grade level 06 or its equivalent and below. Question 38, grade level 7 to salary grade level 14 or its equivalent. So align them with the body responsible for their promotion. A, by the ministry or department and agency. B. B. By the ministry, extraministerial office, or the relevant pool office with the approval of the head of the civil service of the federation, subject to confirmation by the Federal Civil Service Commission. Then C. By the senior staff committee with the approval from the Federal Civil Service Commission. D. By the Federal Civil Service Commission on recommendation from the ministry stroke extraministerial office or the relevant pool office through the office of the head of the civil service administration. So can we align them? So now coming to grade level number 36, grade level 15 and 17. So the correct option will be D, is by the Federal Civil Service Commission on recommendation of the ministry stroke extraministerial office or the relevant pool, which and then routed through the office of the head of the civil service. So D is for question 36. Then for question 37, 6 and below is by the ministry, department and agency. That is option A. Then for 38, grade level 7 to 14 is by the ministry or extraministerial office or the relevant pool office with the approval of the head of the civil service commission, subject to confirmation of the Federal Civil Service. That is option B. So that is 36D, 37A, and the 38B. Then 39, the appropriate committee, after interviewing and considering officers holding junior appointments in the ministry or extraministerial office who may be recommended for promotion to senior post, the committee shall forward their recommendation to, so where do they forward it? So that is for officer going from junior post to senior post. So should they forward to the Federal Civil Service Commission, which shall examine the suitability of officers so recommended and offer them promotion, or they should forward to the permanent secretary or head of extraministerial offices, which shall examine the suitability of officers so recommended and offer them promotion to existing vacancies, or is it to the office of the head of civil service of the federation, which shall examine the suitability of the officers so recommended and offer them promotion to existing vacancies, or is it to the Federal Civil Service Commission to examine the suitability of officers so recommended and further recommend to head of civil service of federation for promotion to existing vacancies? So which is correct? So the correct answer should be A, that is 39A. So they forward to Federal Civil Service Commission, which shall examine and equally give them promotion to the existing vacancy. Then question 40 now. Question 40, all promotion is subject to availability of vacancy and satisfying minimum requirements declared by, so who declares criteria for promotion? So all promotion is subject to availability of vacancy and satisfying by minimum requirements. Who declared the requirements for the promotion? So is it by the Federal Civil Service Commission or board in the case of parastatal, or is it by head of civil service of the federation or board in case of parastatals? Is it declared by ministry or extraministerial offices or agency? Is it declared by head of civil service of the federation? So question 41, Mrs. Nwachukwu sat for promotion examination on November 15th, 2023. The result of the examination was released on 15th of July 2024. She was successful in the exam and got promoted. What is the possible effective date of her promotion? So is it on 15th July 2024? Is it on 1st January 2024? Or on 1st January 2023? Or 15th November 2023. So which one should be her effective date? Quickly now, the options for question 40, all promotion is subject to availability of vacancy and satisfy minimum requirements declared by the Federal Civil Service Commission or board in the case of parastatals. That is option A. Then why for option 41, the correct answer is C. If she sat for the exam, because the effective date is always 1st of January of the year the exam was held. It's the year the exam was held. So if she sat for the exam on the 15th of July 2024, so the effective date should be 1st okay, wait, if okay, 20, okay, the start of the exam on the 15th of sorry, on the November 15th 2023. So this was the day she sat for the exam, November 15th 2023. So if she start for the exam on November 2023, the 30 date must be that same year, January of that same year. So which is it should be 1st of January 2023. That is option C. Then 42, all except one is not part of the preparation for the conduct of promotion exam for eligible officers. So all except one is not part. Then A, all heads of MDAs shall submit their approved establishment for the year to the office of the head of the civil service of the federation before enlisting the officers for promotion examination to ensure that promotion falls in line with existing vacancy. Is that true? B, the appropriate office shall compile a list of all eligible candidates to be considered on the basis of the job requirement. C, list of officers to be compiled based on set of criteria established for the post by the office of the head of civil service of the federation, e.g. their qualification, experience, age, training, performance, etc., as contained in the schemes of service. So which is not part of the preparation. Then D, officer who has spent the required number of years in their current position are given assignment to determine their eligibility and suitability. So which is your correct answer? So the correct answer is D. It is not part of the preparation. That is 42. They are not given any assignment to determine. Then question 43, officers on an approved leave of absence, secondment, approved study leave, special assignment shall A, sit for examination interview at the expiration of their assignment. So are they to write it at the expiration of the assignment? B, sit for promotion interview at designated centers nearest to them. C, sit for promotion interview at designated centers of their substantive post. Or D, sit for promotion interview at designated centers for their MDA's headquarters. So where do they sit for the exam? Question 44, to be allowed to sit for the compulsory examination for confirmation in the service, newly recruited officers must A, have gazetted their first appointment, B, have completed the probationary period, C, have spent 6 months in service, and then D, have spent at least 1 year in service. So which is applicable? So quickly for question 43, officers on approved leave of absence can sit for the exam at the designated centers nearest to them. That is option B. While for question 44, so when they are up to 6 months, they can be allowed to write the exam. So that is C. So answer 43 is B, C for exam at the designated center nearest to them, and C for 44, spend 6 months in service. Once they are 6 months, they can be allowed to write the exam. Then question 45, permanent secretaries or heads of extraministerial offices shall fill vacancies on post on grade level 6 and below on the recommendation of the before permanent sec fills the post. So is it the management staff committee? Is it the promotion board committee at the MDAs? Is it the senior staff committee or the junior staff committee? So who recommends to PAMSEC for their promotion? 46, promotion of both junior and senior officers in federal government, parastatal or agencies shall be invalidated without the representative of. So for parastatals, so promotion of both junior and senior shall be invalidated without the representatives of, is it the Federal Civil Service Commission and head of civil service of the federation, or is it the human resource management of the MDAs and office of the head of civil service of the federation? Is it the human resource management of the MDAs, then Federal Civil Service Commission, and then office of the head of civil service? Or is it the human resource management of the supervising ministries and the office of the head of civil service of the federation? So which of them will make it invalidated if they are not present? Then 47, the appointment of a contract officer can be enhanced by A, considering him for promotion. Is he considered for promotion? Then B, considering for an enhanced appointment during renegotiation of contracts. Then C, considering an upgrade of the condition of service during the tenure of the ongoing contract. D, considering him for entitlements not contained in the contract agreement. So quickly, question the options, the answers. So for question 45, permanent secretaries so head of extraministerial offices shall fill the vacancies from grade level 6 and below on the recommendations of the junior staff committee. That is D. Then for question 46, promotion of both junior and senior officers in federal government parastatals shall be invalidated without the presence of the human resource management of the supervising ministries and head office of the head of civil service of the federation. That is option D too. Then why 47, the appointment of a contract officer can be enhanced during the negotiation of the contract. That is B. So we have the options D, D, and B. For question 48 now, which of these is or are involved in the selection of permanent secretaries? So who are involved? So A, test of performance. So which of them is involved or are involved in the selection of permanent secretaries? So A, test of performance, then written examination, practical test, test of ICT, proficiency and oral interview. B, written examination, test of ICT, proficiency and oral interview. C, resource persons from the civil or public service and private institutions may be involved in the selection process. Then D, written examination, portfolio assessment and oral assessment. So it's a which of these is or are involved in the selection of permanent secretaries. So which of them are involved? Then 49, Mr. John, a substantive director on grade level 17 in the mainstream of the Federal Civil Service, was disqualified to participate from participating in the selection. He was disqualified from participating in the selection of officers for the post of permanent secretary that was conducted on the 20th of May 2022. What could be the possible reason for his disqualification? So Mr. John, a substantive director on grade level 17 in the mainstream of the Federal Civil Service, was disqualified from participating in the selection of officers for the post of permanent secretary, so that was conducted on the 20th of May 2022. So what could be the possible reason for his disqualification? A, could it be that he must have been verified and confirmed on the IPPIS portal? Would that make him to be disqualified as the staff of federal government of Nigeria? Then B, he must have spent 1 year and 11 months on the post of a director. C, he is retiring on the 21st of April 2024. D, he provided proof of indigenship of the state where vacancy exists. And E, he is not having a pending disciplinary action. So which of these made them to disqualify him from participating? So quickly from question 48, which of these are not involved? So which of these is or are involved in the selection of permanent secretaries? So the correct option for question 4 B, which is written examination, test of ICT, proficiency and oral. Yes, that is what they do. Then also looking at option C, resource persons from the civil, public and private institutions may be involved in the selection. Yes, so B and C are correct. So both of them are involved in the selection of the PAMSECs. So the correct option there is B and C. Why for 49, that say Mr. John substantive is a substantive director on grade level 17 in the mainstream of federal civil service, was disqualified to participate in the selection of officers for the post of permanent secretaries that was conducted on 20th May 2022. So now let's look at the conditions. Here says he must have been verified and confirmed on the IPS, of course, which is part of it. So if he's verified and confirmed, that will not disqualify him. Then B, he must have spent 1 year and 11 months. Sorry, the required minimum number of years is 2 years. So 1 year and 11 months is less than 2 years. So I think this must be the reason why he was disqualified. So that is option B. Yes. Whereas every other ones are in order. So he's retiring on the 21st of April 2024. Of course, since the exam is being conducted on 2022, so the condition is that he must not retire on the 31st December 2023. But he's not retiring even 23 until 24. So this is he's still qualified by that. So it's the 11 months and 1 year, which is less than 2 years. Then 50, if the authority empowered to appoint an officer establishes to his satisfaction that the officer is not qualified for efficient service during his probationary period, while the officer has been of good conduct and a decision was taken to terminate his appointment, which of these may not be applicable in terminating the appointment? A, free transport to the place from which he was engaged. So he has been of good conduct. Then I, if the officer is eligible to vacation leave in respect of his service to date, such leave may be granted together with a normal vacation leave if desired. Together with a normal vacation leave if desired. Then 3, transport grant in lieu of the free accommodation mentioned above. Then 4, it will be effected by means of a month's notice. Then 5, such leave, if any, shall be also arranged as to take place within the period of notice and, if possible, to expire on the same day as the notice. So which of them is not as the question? I think that's the question. Then 6, the officer may be given opportunity to make a representative why his appointment should not be terminated if he so desires. So quickly your options. Then for 7, the position regarding the refund of the cost of any training given the officer is governed by the bond relating to such training. So I think the only wrong one that is not applicable is the officer may be given an opportunity to make a representation, which is not true. So that is 6. So let's see the correct answer. 6. Yeah, 6 only ones are applicable. So 50. Okay, these are options. Okay, option A says 6 only, B says 1 and 6 only, C says 1, 3 and 7 only, while D says 4 only. So the correct answer is A, 6 only. Yes. Then 51, which of these is not applicable to an officer who relinquishes his appointment within the period of his probationary service? So if an officer relinquishes his appointment within the period of his probationary service, so which is not applicable? So he refunds the cost of all the training given to him within the probationary period. Is it true? Then B, he will not be eligible for any facilities from government towards transportation at which he was serving. Is it true? Then C, the position regarding the refund of the cost of any training given to his officer is governed by the bond relating to such training. Is that true? Then D, he may be required to refund any expenditure by government in transporting his family, servants and baggage to and fro the place at which he was employed. So for an officer who relinquishes his appointment within the period of his probation. So the officer relinquishes his appointment, not that he was removed by the authority. So which of them is correct? Then question 52. What is the compulsory retirement age for a serving director or is equivalent by whatever nomenclature it is described in MDS? So compulsory retirement age for director. So A says 4 years on the post, renewable for another 4 years. So director, will it be 4 years and renew for another 4 years? Then B, 6 years on the post. C, 7 years on the post as a director, and D, 8 years on the post. So quickly, from options from 51, which of these is not applicable? Who relinquishes his appointment within the period of his probation. So the one that is not applicable is he refunds the cost of all the training given to him with period. No. But he will not be eligible for facilities. Of course, this one is true. Then the position regarding the refund of course, is as contained. Then he may be required to refund any expenditure by government. He will also be required. So the only option is that he refunds the cost of all the training given to him. That is option A. Then for question 52, a serving director goes for 8 years at a stretch. It doesn't tenure doesn't end, and he renew for another on the 8 years on the post direct. He will retire compulsory. Then for question 53, which of these might not be applicable to an officer who resigns from service? Will be reliable to. So which of it will the officer who resigns from service will be reliable to? So A, to forfeit all claims to vacation leave and given up or passage privileges granted will be ex gratia. Then be the government fund to the government into an agreement or not for not discharging the obligations set out in such agreement, except when waived at the discretion of the government. So this is for officer who resigns. Then C, will be given only the cost of transportation to the location where he was originally employed from. Then D, refund to the government in full any sum of money which he may be owing the government. So which of these might not be applicable to an officer who resigned from service? So 54. Then 54, two conditions in which an officer's appointment might be terminated. Two conditions in which an officer's appointment may be terminated. A, if the officer fails to secure confirmation in the pensionable establishment at the expiration of his probationary period, including such extensions thereof. Okay, I have to mention, so this is one of them. So the second one is if the authority for the appointment of the officer's probationary period that the officer cannot efficiently perform his duties. So these are the two conditions that one's appointment can be terminated. So if he fails to secure confirmation appointment within the period of probation, even the extension, when it's established during the probation that he cannot efficiently carry out the duties, terminated. So why for question 53, which of these might not be applicable to an officer who resigned from service? So C says will be given only the cost of transportation. No, cannot be given anything because he resigns. So the correct option there is C. Yes. Okay. So he will not be given any cost of transportation to location where he was originally from. No. Then question 55. The following conditions may apply to an officer who leaves the service during a leave year other than by resignation or dismissal, except. So the conditions that may apply to an officer who leaves the service during a leave year other than by resignation or dismissal, except. So applicable, which one is not applicable to him? A, he will be eligible for proportional leave in accordance with the provision. B, if he has enjoyed more leave during the leave year than he is eligible to receive under the rule, he will be required to refund salary at the rate at which it was paid for the number of working days leave enjoyed in excess of what he was eligible to receive. Then C, any leave enjoyed by the officer in excess of what he is entitled to within the leave any year will be treated as leave without pay for pension purposes. And D, the officer enjoys all claims to full annual leave. So which of the conditions may apply to an officer who leaves the service during a during a leave year? So all are applicable except. So which of them is not applicable? So which of the following condition may Okay, say the following conditions may apply to an officer who leaves the service during a leave year other than resignation or dismissal, except so which of them is not applicable to him. So question 56, a permanent secretary shall compulsorily retire after holding office for a term of 3 years and renewable for a further term of 3 years, b a term of 4 years and renewable for a further term of 2 years, so and c a term of 4 years and renewable for a further term of 4 years, d a term of 2 years and renewable for a further term of 2 years. So starting from the 5, the correct option say which one is not applicable. That the officer enjoys all claims to full annual vacation leave. No. So the following conditions may apply to an officer who leaves the service during the leave year. So if he's leaving, so what is entitled to is a proportionate leave, not full leave. So the officer, the enjoyment of the full annual leave is not applicable to the officer. So that is D. While permanent secretary holds office for the first term of 4 years and the renewable for another term of 4 years. So for 4 years, that is D. C 4 years first instance, 4 years second instance. So you see 55D, see 56C. So D, officer enjoys all claim, which is false. Then permanent secretary is 4 years first, 4 years second tenure. 57, officer that scored below the pass mark in a promotion examination shall be called upon to leave the service. Then B, notified either in writing or by message sent to their given email address by the authority that conducted the exam. C, they shall be notified either in writing or by message sent to their given email address by the head of the civil service of the federation. And D, they shall be notified through SMS messages sent to their given phone number by the authority that conducted the exam. So which one is applicable? Then 58, aside the prevailing conditions of service for judicial officers, academic officers of universities and other officers whose retirement age is at variance, what is the mandatory retirement age for all grades in the service? So A, 70 years of age or 40 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. B, 65 years or 35 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. 60 years or 35 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. So which one is the retirement age? Then D, 65 years or 40 years of pensionable service, whichever is earlier. So from question 57, so officer that scored below the pass mark in a promotion exam shall be notified by the authority that conducted the exam, and they shall be notified in writing or send message through their provided email address. So let's see, notify through, okay, no, notify either in writing or message sent to their given email address, but no, it's not by the head of service, by the authority. So notified either in writing or by message sent to their given email address by the authority that conducted the exam. Yes, that is option B for 57. Option B. So in writing or message to the email by the authority that conducted the exam. Then for 58, the mandatory retirement age is 60 years or 35 years of pensionable service. That is C. So that is it. So 57 is the officer that scored below the pass mark in promotion exam shall be notified in writing or by SMS or by message sent to their given email address by the authority that conducted the exam. So please, that is B, not A. So it's an error. So 57, the correct answer is B, notified in writing by message sent to their given email address by the authority that conducted the exam. B, that is the correct answer for that. 57. Then for 58 is 60 years or 35 years of pensionable service. That is option C. Then 59, all except dash are ways an officer can exit the service. So what are the ways one can exit the service? So you have relinquishing the appointment during probationary period, you have termination of appointment, you have failing promotion examination or absent from the examination, or refusing to write examination up to 3 times. Then 4, on grounds of abolition of office or reorganization of office or redundancy. Then on medical grounds, so we are trying to get the one that is not applicable for existing of to exist service for medical ground. Then 6, resignation of appointment. Then 7, tenure policy. 8, mandatory retirement. 9, dismissal. Then absconding. So all except dash are ways an officer can exit service. So all these four. So in which of them is not applicable that an officer can exit service? So then is it by death? So the correct answer, looking at all of them, of course, the officer can relinquish his appointment. Yes, he can be terminated, as we saw. Also, on failing examination 3 times, of course, he can exit the service by that. Then on grounds of abolition of office, yes, he can exit the service on that. Then on grounds of medical ground, of course, he can exit. Then he can resign his appointment as well. Then tenure policy for directors and PAMs to exit them, demand age, retirement age. Of course, an officer can also be dismissed. Then for absconding, no. Then for death, yes. Absconding can only lead to dismissal. So as serious misconduct, which now disciplinary action sitting can hold and at the end be dismissed. So it's through absconding. Then question 60. Please, question 60. I would like to have your comment, your response to this question at the comment section. Please don't fail to do that. It says, what is your view about this video? So question 60 says, what is your view about this video? I will be glad to have your response at the comment section. So quickly at your comment section, let me know your view about this video, because that will now guide me on subsequent ones. So it will guide me on subsequent ones. So areas to correct, to ways of improvement. So what, let me just your view, your entire view. Is it interesting? Is it worth it? Is it worth suffering for? Just whatever you feel about this. So put it down at the comment section. So that determine whether I should carry on to make further ones, or it is not worth doing it at all. Let me know what is your comment. Thank you so much. So thank you. So please do not forget to click on the subscribe button if it's still there. Though I don't expect it to still be on your page, the subscribe. I don't expect it to still be on your page by now. But if it's still there, please kindly click on it. It should not be showing on your page anymore. If it's there, whether black background or white background, kindly click on it. So then you can also like and also share this material to your friends. If it's of value to you, it can also be value to another person. Share it to your friends to help each other. So I'm not costing anybody for doing this. So it's my contribution. So all you need to do is to send it to another person. Let it also benefit that person. So the next topic we shall be considering is mandatory contribution to pension scheme, then certificate of service, then schedule for non-pensionable appointments. So after that, we now proceed to discipline. So this ends everything about appointment. Then we now proceed to discipline in the subsequent one. So please click on subscribe if you have not, and let me know your comments in this exercise, whether it's or not. So to know whether we proceed for the next one or not. Thank you so much. If you have stayed so far, God bless you, and I wish you success in your exam. So I wish you success. By God grace, you succeed in your exam. Thank you, and God bless you. So see you in the next episode. God bless you.